Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm back with a new video. Today I'm going to be reviewing a book I just finished, and it is called The Exorcist. So very anticipated read for me, and a novel that many horror fans love, myself being one of them. Let's just jump right into this. Before I jump into the book review about The Exorcist, let me apologize for not, uploading a lot of videos lately. I have been quite busy. My book, My Next Door Obsession, it is on Amazon. If you would like to get a signed copy from me personally, you just have to DM me on Instagram, okay? So again, I just wanted to throw that out there and make everyone clear about that as well. Again, I'm back. I'm excited to talk about this, so let's get right into it. Did you know that William Peter Blatty, the author of The Exorcist, Blatty was very influenced to write The Exorcist from actual occurrence of an exorcism that happened while he was growing up. The exorcism was in 1949 of a young boy in Cottage City, Maryland. And also William Peter Blatty was influenced by the 1634 exorcism. So again, that dates way back, and I don't even know if that's around with the witch trials as well, but again, exorcism was his big influence on writing, obviously one of the most infamous books out there. Now, when many people think of The Exorcist, they think of the movie, which I have seen the movie personally. It's been a while, I will say honestly, that I've seen it. It was, enjoyable. It was kind of freaky. I'm gonna say I watched it when I was younger, but the novel, I feel like, if you're a person who loves reading and you feel like you have a better grasp of the storyline with a novel compared to a movie, that is The Exorcist in the long run. So The Exorcist is following a 12-year-old girl named Regan MacNeil and her mother, Chris MacNeil, who is actually a famous movie star and / director, I believe, or producer. But she's a famous figure. People know her. And so it's following these two people along with two priests during the book. But again, I do not want to give any spoiler alerts if you have not read the book. I highly recommend you go read it though. But following this possession, if you believe in God or if you have no faith or no religion, it doesn't matter with that. When you read The Exorcist, it tells you all the details you need to know in the book. William Peter Blatty gave really great descriptions of the book and the occurrences that kept happening. There were back and forth things going between, obviously, Regan and her mother and the priest, whichever one they were talking about throughout the book. He had a really good transition, and for a lot of authors, that may be a hard point in keeping readers in if they're bouncing around the story a lot, but William Peter Blatty did a very good job in The Exorcist and keeping the horror aspect truly in it, whichever direction he was going with it. So in the story, when you think of an exorcism, you think of obviously a demonic figure or some kind of evil spirit overtaking the human form. At first, Regan's mother has no idea what is happening to her daughter. She just feels like she is psychologically ill. There's something wrong with her. So they have like psychiatrists look at her, done a lot of tests about her. So they're trying to figure out what is wrong with her, and there's little parts in the story that actually give me like the chills, and like it actually is very interesting because again, I listen to Audible while I read my books, and William Peter Blatty, he actually read the narration for the Audible of The Exorcist, which was amazing because he has such a very unique voice. And when he was actually portraying obviously Chris, he would say like a normal voice, but then when he was going with Regan had two different voices. He had a little 12-year-old girl, but you also had the demon with what was inside of her. So that was very interesting and I loved hearing it. So very good Audible read. I recommend this book to any horror fans who are out there. 5 stars all the way. Horror is a very interesting genre to talk about, especially if you don't have a good grasp of it, or if you're just kind of up in the air about it. But horror is very interesting, and if you are trying to dip your toes into the horror water, I highly recommend you start with The Exorcist. It's old-fashioned horror. Again, this book was made in the 70s. I think it was 1971 it was published. Very awesome, very intriguing read. Again, old horror has that like really good grasp of it. In this story, there's no drawn on like occurrences or anything that's happening, in my opinion. But again, there may be some different opinions out there about The Exorcist. Let me know down in the comments if you have read the book or if you've seen the movie and the book. My current read right now, after I finish The Exorcist, I'm going right into another demonic figure book. I am reading Rosemary's Baby. So I may do a book review about that too as well. So stay tuned to hear about that. And like I always say, I know it's been a while, but please read your book cover to cover. We'll see y'all later.